Guys, let's continue my commenting on the Nobel Economic Prize. By the way, I've been persistently using the word respectively, and what I really mean is respectfully. Those are totally different meanings. Apologize for that. And then I also mention the name of Gordon Chan. I call it the Michael Chan. So that's something, uh, my mistake, my bad. But anyway, I'm just thinking, the other part of the Nobel Prize this year, you know, above and beyond that part of like calling technical progress being the holy grail of the sustainable growth. We have also have another part of the two scholars that focusing on constructive destruction, obviously following the notion by Schumpeter. I think in German it's probably pronounced Schumpeter, but in English it's Schumpeter. But anyway, so it's an old notion, old theory. Um, I have several issues with that. Number one, we are still missing the micro foundation of this uh, sustainable growth and the national growth, national development. So far, if you look at the new institutional economics from last year and this year's innovation growth theory, they're both at the macroeconomics level. If you look at the institutions and you see that there's scholars there, they're talking about all the micro level. They talk about a democracy, talk about property right. Those they're looking at the hundreds years ago in England. By the way, this also this innovation growth theory also look at the England, especially for Joey. There's some limit. I really want to we really need to fund the macroeconomics foundations for that, and then for the other purpose, that's one thing. The second thing is that it's too restrictive to limit all the innovations to be constructive destruction. Okay, because not everything. Not all the innovations must completely destroy the old one. Okay, that's an oversimplified matters. And then also, not all the old innovations they actively blocking the way for the new innovations. That's just not the way it is. If you look at the U.S., the best country in the world for innovations, and you see all you need is to open your eyes to see the reality how the innovation is done. We see a lot of people. They are innovative, but they actively participating for promoting the new innovations. Okay, so we underestimated those people. This is really kind of unfortunately because like I said yesterday, the peer review system basically ended up promoting scientific inbreeding. That's sad. The scholars always pay attention to the other scholars. They did not understand that a lot of innovations really have to come from the real world, not in the ivory tower. Okay, whatever other scholars says may not matter that much. Okay, because the real breakthrough has to be from the reality. You need to have very good observations to see the real world and to pay attention to the real world first, and then sleep on it. Think about it all the time, and then notice once you have some ideas, you keep that in mind, and you look at the world again, and you find out that things that's more likely, more promising for you to get a real breakthrough. But on the other hand, the forget about the chasing after Holy Grail. We don't have the Holy Grail. We what we have is there is a complicated world which we have holistic, complicated, comprehensive solutions. Stop looking for one wheelers theory. That's what like I said, I'm not respectfully. It's nothing against anybody else, anybody in particular. I'm just um, complaining about the current peer review system. It may not be the most productive way to go. So again, let's look at the innovations. We need to find out, in the U.S that a lot of innovations, they're not necessarily constructive destruction. They could be incremental. One thing you need to note is that it's in the real world, look at how often, how frequent the software is updated or upgraded. The US, I think, they're doing the best because they keep updating, keep upgrading the system. How many times have we seen people saying that if the AI coming out and it will kill somebody else, they're completely, and it always turns out that they're wrong. It's a lot of the you know innovations and more evolution than revolution. Revolution, we do have it, but even the revolution has an evolution side. So we need to find out more about that. But also, in terms of having a microeconomics foundation, you really need to find out demand and supply. Again, both new institutional economics and innovation growth theory, they emphasizing the supply side. Okay, for example, the books like A Culture of Growth. That's kind of a more trying to find out what makes the supply side different. For institutional economics, what makes that how the new rules of game are installed and how they impact the growth and then the country's economic growth and development. So, but we really need the demand side. Okay, so that's one future way to having a solid with the supply and the demand on both in your hand, and then we can talk about the interactions, how they interact, how the supply interact with the demand, and then that's why I said I have a three-step theory. Number one, to introduce something, a demand side. In my case, I have a draft in 2024. I have a draft that talk about, pre-institutions, okay, which is mainly responsible for the demand side of it, for the good institutions and also for innovations, okay. Uh, so that's the first step. The second step is to look at the interactions, how they interact. I have some mathematical models for that purpose. And then number three, we talk about the functional substitutions. Okay, when look at China. Ultimately, my book, my work is motivated by how to read China. In fact, how to read the two elephants. One is China and another is US. Those two elephants, how they interact, how they communicate, compete with each other, really makes a difference. I also like the word coopetition, which means it's a combination of a cooperation and a competition. We put them together, we call it coopetitions. Okay, a lot of the times the innovations, the institutional growth, the national growth, and the development are based on coopetitions. Okay, not just one side. And then we can go from there. So let's stop here.